What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm gonna be cleaning out the, sooted up portions of my diesel heater that I use to camp in the back of my truck during the winter. So during the winter, I go camping next to the ski resorts so that I don't have to hit any traffic. And this heater that I'm gonna show you is mounted in my bed of my truck, and I have a topper, and I use it to keep warm, obviously, while sleeping overnight. Um, and usually it keeps it about, I don't know, 70-ish degrees in the truck. But the last time I slept in it, it stopped working at about 6 in the morning. And every time I tried to start it up, it would try to start up, but it would just smoke pretty bad. So I'm gonna flip it around and show you kind of what's going on. So when you use these at altitude, you have to change the kind of the settings on it, and you're supposed to use less fuel and more oxygen because that is what it needs to run at altitude. And where I'm sleeping is around 7,000 feet. So this is the exhaust port. When I pulled this off, it had a like diesel fuel coming out of it because it was just not burning anything. So I'm gonna take this whole thing apart and bring you along. All right, so when I took this apart or out of the truck, I was not wearing gloves and diesel fuel got everywhere and my hands stunk, so I'm gonna use some gloves this time. And we'll try to get this thing apart. think this still has to come out. So there's these little pegs, and these are easy to get off because it has the little tabs for you to get your screwdriver under, but top and bottom do not. And this doesn't really flex. Let's see if I can maybe get it from this side. Alright, 3 sides is all it takes. Now we should be able to pull this. Definitely on the struggle bus here. Oh, yeah, just kind of force it, huh? I don't want to break anything. There we go. This is a 4mm. Alright, so there's just a little clip right there. This comes up. Don't know, but I think some people may try to bypass some of this or unplug some of this stuff. I may just try to bypass it. Let's just see what happens when I remove these. Same 4mm. Okay, so maybe I will take these off. Remove this black one from here, this blue one from here. Maybe, there we go. And this little clear one from there. Nice. Alright, that makes sense to get rid of. Cleans it up a little bit. When I first got this, I was using it in a 96 Toyota Tacoma, a 6-foot bed, and this thing would burn me out of the truck bed at even the coldest of times. And I put this in the 8-foot bed with a tall topper on the 99 F250, and for the first day it was like 50 degrees in there, and second time I noticed that there was a bunch of gaps in places. I filled those on my second trip, and it got significantly warmer, probably about 60s. And then when I was getting out one morning, I noticed that the whole truck, the tailgate had a significant gap there. And so that was going to be my next location to try to seal up. I've been told to be very careful about removing the glow plug, which is this thing here. So let's hope I don't make any mistakes. I'm gonna try a 12 first, right on the money. There we go. Doesn't look bad at all. Maybe a little bit of fuel on the end, but not that bad. So now I believe the moment this do? Oh, this comes up with it. All right. Oh, Jesus. That's it's pretty ugly. I'm gonna try to get some light in there so I can actually show you. Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit coked up. Try to dial in the settings for this, because that is no bueno. It's not gonna work. So we're gonna use this to clean it out. I need to find a sheet of paper or something for it to go on. So I think the play is gonna be to turn down the fuel once I get all this cleaned out. And that way at altitude it'll just burn a little bit cleaner. It's a lot of soot. So I did use this all last year. And the first probably 5 times I used it, I did not change the settings at all. So I bet you there's a lot of soot from that, because it would just keep dying on me. So, all right, let's put her back together. This is actually a little bit easier than I thought it was gonna be so far. I haven't finished yet, but I'm debating on, like, at the beginning of the season next year, if I continue to use this system to just kind of take care of this so I don't run into cold nights or cold mornings. So far the hardest part was getting the red portion of the case off. Guess my only suggestion for that would be to get 3 ends kind of shimmed and then start pulling. There's no real reason to start before that. I'm having trouble getting that clip in without putting the screw in. Guess we'll find out if that screw is necessary to be in for the clip to even work. So, another tip, put that screw in before you try to clip the top portion in. You can't do it without it, or at least I couldn't. I guess it's just time to fit this bad boy back over. So, just realized this needs to be flipped upside down because this side already has the cover and I didn't move that, and it needs to go in here. So, no harm, no foul. It'll be quick. Oh. So, not sure. Let me see if you can see it on here. But this side has 2 little dots that stick out. This side doesn't. This side does. So the parts that have the little screwdriver indentions should get the parts with the dots that way. You can pop them off easier. I'm sure that's how it was, but I just didn't know that and thought you had to get all 4. Just make sure this part lines up right here and you'll be good. Alright, it's time to put this back in. The bolts I guess the nuts here are a 10, and then the ones here are either a Phillips head or I believe it's a 7. Yeah, 7mm. So I'm gonna get this kind of in place, and I'll show you my truck bed setup for camping. So this is the back of the cab. This is kind of the access right here to all the fuel, and I'll show you back there where the heater goes. But I also got the drawer on rollers, and that's the bed I use in the back. One day I will be carpeting this and make it a little bit more comfortable, but once everything's set up, there's not really much room for anything, so it's not like you're rubbing on anything wooden here. So give me a second and I'll get the heater in there and show you the holes that are required if you want to do something like this. So here's the holes that are required for the heater itself. The fuel has to go down underneath. So if you look here, this, I'll just put it down. That's the fuel line, that's the intake, that's exhaust. And so I have fuel lines from the tank that's right here that go underneath and then back over here. This is a diesel truck, so you can connect the lines to the tank for the car, but I don't want to drop the tank right now. So this was easy enough. I'll go ahead and get this installed in here. And then, so this is the wiring. This one goes to the fuel pump that's down kind of by the tank back there. And then these go to the battery, which I have ran along this side. And I have 2 batteries in there. All right, so that's what it looks like when it's installed underneath. Obviously not bolted in, but I will get those put in. The 4 bolts or nuts that go in there first, and then I'll get the exhaust and the intake in. All right, time to give her a test. All right, so I have mine wired up a little bit differently than most people. So down in here, I have 2 batteries, and I found these connectors that are the same thing that battery tenders use. So this thing came with the battery tender and has the little alligator clips. And if I'm testing anything, I thought maybe the batteries were the issue at one point. So I have this battery in here that I was using, and turns out it wasn't the batteries. It was just coked up, obviously. So all I have to do is, this is the wiring that I extended from the heater, and all I have to do is plug it in here, and first you got to plug in all the wiring that you just unplugged. So in this case it's just one connector. All right, and now this came on, and we'll give her a shot. So while we're waiting for this to start up, the one thing I like about this connector here is that when the battery's low, because I don't have solar or anything set up, I don't use this that often, but when the batteries get low, I can just plug the battery tender in here and it'll charge it, so I can just leave it overnight, a couple days, let it charge up. I did drill a hole through the wood and have this mounted up towards the front before, but I was using only one battery before, and now I have two, and it only fit right in this area. And I've been doing some testing before I commit and put another hole in this. So not sure if you guys can hear that, but the pump is starting. Let's go check the exhaust outside. It's hot, or it's coming out warm, so let's hope she fires up. Go check inside. Oh yeah, I already feel the warmth. Oh. It's coming out warm, and it sounds pretty normal now, which is nice. On the controller, it has gotten all the way up to red, which means it's glow plugs warming up, or I guess it's all the way warmed up. Yeah, so if you look at it now, no smoke, it's working good. Thanks for watching, guys. I have a video coming out soon where I test out the heater, so keep an eye out for that. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one.